This kind of fraud has been going on for quite some time in Imo State. Once you are paying for land, it's not stopping by the roadside and buying orange.
Right.
No, you make sure that you transfer into a valid bank account. Most land buyers these days, they don't conduct due diligence
Exactly.
before parting with their money. Some people don't even visit and inspect the property that is being marketed to them. Searching at a particular state land bureau, and with that search result, you begin to run with it. It's very, very risky. That's why every other real estate company, what they're doing is come and buy, come and buy. What we are doing is don't buy this.
Hello everyone, how are you doing today? You know, get us the one take it away never be before. Put a smile on your face, everything's gonna be fine. I've got a big alert for you. Information available to us from the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development warns the general public from patronizing anybody or Imo State government officials who are fraudulently appropriating and reallocating federal government-owned properties in Imo State. A reliable source who confided in EncumberedProperties.com said the federal field officials in Imo State already notified the federal headquarters about the dubious activities of unknown land grabbers who are suspected to be working in connivance with some corrupt Imo State government officials. You are by this alert advised not to patronize anybody or Imo State government official who comes through to sell such property to you. The ministry also warned that it will not hesitate to retrieve any property fraudulently appropriated or reallocated to anyone. One of the landed properties the ministry mentioned is Site and Services Scheme, Site 5, Onisha Road, Owerri, Imo State. This is one of the many reasons you are encouraged to visit our website, www.encumberedproperties.com. Follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook at Encumbered Properties Limited, Instagram at Encumbered Properties Limited. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Encumbered Properties, to get real-time notifications on encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale. And if your property falls into any of the aforementioned categories, feel free to enlist them on our platform. Guess what? All these are free of charge. Let's quickly get to the question and answer session to enable us get a clearer view on the legal implications of the matter on desk. All right, good to have you again, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Rex.
In case you're just joining us, you're watching Encumbered Properties Red Alert. On this show, we bring you details of encumbered properties, disputed properties, and properties that are for any reason not available for sale. And he is our very special guest. You might be meeting him for the first time. He's a very senior police officer, a property lawyer, and of course, the founder EncumberedProperties.com, Mr. Madueke Enwere. Please, looking at this situation in Imo State, to me is a very delicate situation where the federal ministry is accusing, some state officials in Imo State, of conniving with unknown land grabbers to trespass into the federal government-owned properties in Imo State. I don't know, what would be your advice to those people who might have fallen victim to this avoidable circumstance? There are people out there who really want to invest in real estate. They are overzealous, they have got their money. They don't care about due diligence. All they care about is that there is a land for sale somewhere. They'll just go in and pay the money and buy off the land and the rest of them. Not knowing that, yes, that land might possibly be a disputed property. So tell me, what would be your advice for such people who have fallen victim already?
Well, to address your question, is actually unfortunate that most land buyers these days, they don't conduct due diligence
Exactly.
before parting with their money. I don't know if it's because of the way or how easy it's been for them to, get the money.
You can say that again.
But it's really funny. In some circumstances, some people don't even visit and inspect the property that is being marketed to them, not to talk of conducting searches at the relevant sites and land bureaus.
Some pay on air.
Well, for anyone who has already fallen victim, having bought into any of the federal government properties in Imo State, the safest thing for that person to do is to begin to track whomever he or she might have given his money immediately.
Okay.
And
sorry to cut you short.
All right.
Talking about tracking the person, what if this person cannot be found?
That's why we always advise that you don't make any land transaction or payment through means that is not easily traceable. Once you are paying for land, it's not, stopping by the roadside and buying orange.
Right.
No, you make sure that you transfer into a valid bank account.
Right. It doesn't matter who is recommending such property to you, even your relative, your friend. Sometimes your friends could call you up. There is a land selling in somewhere without knowing the status of that land.
If that is the case, probably someone is an agent.
More like it.
In between. The agent should help you to trace whoever that he marketed his property to you.
This brings me to a very pertinent question. Now, we are talking about federal government-owned properties in Imo State and some state officials conniving with unknown land grabbers. Does it really mean that when you go to the land bureau in Imo State, you will not find that property in the name of the federal government for you to go ahead patronizing people masquerading as state officials who are fraudulently appropriating and reallocating the properties?
The information available to us is actually that this kind of fraud has been going on for quite some time in Imo State. And the Federal Ministry of Land and Urban Development hitherto had written the state government to restrain and cause their people to desist from selling federal government properties in Imo State. And people are falling victim. And why is it that people are falling victim? Since it's been suspected that some state government officials are actually in connivance with the people who are doing this, chances are that the correct information, the correct data indicating that these properties are in the name of the federal government or any of its agencies might have been tampered with. Because if it remains that way, anybody can easily see that so plot, so land is for this federal government agency or the other. So that's why I must say that searching at a particular state land bureau and with that search result, you begin to run with it, is very, very risky. Right. Because there have been circumstances and situations where state officials are the villains we are talking about.
Right.
They are the land grabbers in question. Yes.
No land grabbers.
Yeah, because, okay, we have a case we discussed in this studio as well. The case in Lagos, where the Shangisha land...
landlords and state government.
Despite state high court, court of appeal, and Supreme Court ruling against the state is still hell-bent on taking over land that belongs to some other people. So this kind of information that the land is encumbered, you won't see it in the land bureau in Alausa. It's not possible because they've not agreed with the judgment and they are hell-bent allocating it in the name of other people contrary to the Supreme Court judgment. So in this case in Imo State as well, I can bet you that the whole lands and plots listed by the Federal Ministry of Land and Urban Development as being trespassed into and being marketed to unsuspecting members of the public, you won't see them against the name of the federal government when you go to the Land Bureau in Imo State. So that's why EncumberedProperties.com that has flagged these properties, you make recourse to it to check, to know if anybody had flagged the property in question so that you compare what you are getting from the Land Bureau with what you are seeing at Encumbered Properties platform.
So would you say Encumberedproperties.com is more like a bridge builder? You know, trying to bridge the gap between the buyers, innocent buyers, and the authentic sellers, just like what you highlighted right now. If the state government officials could compromise the information on the system with regard to the lands burial, and the federal government is also up against some of the state officials. So what role are you playing as a founder in Kimber Properties when we talk about real estate investment? Are you trying to bridge the gap wherein people can easily get access to genuine information on your platform? I want to get the true picture of this platform.
Well, Encumberedproperties.com is a public-spirited platform that is meant to give voice to the voiceless.
Very well.
And that's why every information on the platform is entirely free of charge. You don't have to pay a dime, and you don't have to move from your house to access the platform. You can stay at the comfort of your home and enlist any property you think is encumbered, any property you think people might interfere with.
Right.
Like in this case, at encumberedproperties.com, you have the list of the federal government properties in Imo State that are being threatened by trespassers, people selling into. When you glean through it, you will put yourself on alert in case anybody tries marketing any of them to you. So this is where we actually come in, because the federal government nor the state government, none of them have a data where they keep properties that members of the public are not supposed to go to. That's why every other real estate company, what they're doing is come and buy, come and buy. What we are doing is don't buy this, don't buy this.
There is no database where you could
this.
go in and say, okay, I'm searching for Encumbered Properties, disputed properties, except the coming of
except Encumberedproperties.com. Any property you see on our platform, Encumberedproperties.com, that property is not for sale. It has been flagged. It's either in dispute,
very well,
encumbered, or for one reason or the other, under government acquisition and not for sale.
Okay, thank you so much for this clarification. I truly do appreciate your time and your in-depth analysis.
Thank you, Rex.
My pleasure. You heard it all. They say service to humanity is the best work of life. I must say this is exactly what Encumberedproperties.com is doing. For them to offer these services free of charge, that simply means they're out to serve humanity. When we talk about humanity, we talk about you and I. Please stay away from disputed properties. Would you like to get similar updates on encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale? Then subscribe to this channel. Follow us on our social media platforms. Visit our website, www.encumberedproperties.com, to get real-time notifications on such properties. Till I come your way again, stay safe and stay out of troubled properties. I am Rex Chinedu Agoawuike.